Hello, how the tech are you? This is our weekly tech show on Echoplex Media. I'm historian Matt. I talk about tech stuff, science news, other tech things I feel like talking about. This week, I've got some kind of different stuff. So my first story this week is I nearly got scammed, and it wasn't, nothing ended up happening, which is good. But I want to take the opportunity to talk about, what happened and things you can do to protect yourself. And my second story is basically, y'all probably thought this was going to happen sometime, but somebody decided to direct an AI to destroy humanity, and wonder how well that went. But so HK is not going to be with us. He's on an adventure, and he authorized me to tell you what that adventure is. He's working on his Svelte hackathon project. So Svelte hackathon, he does a lot of stuff with Svelte. I'll have a link in our show notes to it. I think it's called Nesso. And he called it's a Mastodon compatible federated social network written in Svelte and Svelte Kit. So I believe it's all open source, and he's trying to, win the hackathon. So go check it out and vote for him if there's any voting. I don't know what the voting is. So over to you with the mic.
Okay, I'm Dave. I'm the producer of this show and all the other shows on Echoplex Media. And this week I have Google is going to release an AI-powered search in May, similar to Bing and ChatGPT. And then one of the Mars helicopters, or the Mars helicopter, was only supposed to or expected to complete 5 flights. It has now completed 50.
Wow. All right. So first of all, I got scammed, or somebody tried to scam me. So real quick, what happened was basically, for other reasons, I was waiting for a phone call, and I'm getting all these random phone calls, and I said that I had to answer because I'm looking for a specific one. And it was some guy claiming to be from Coinbase, and they said that somebody's trying to hack into my account. So if you don't know, Coinbase is the major cryptocurrency exchange in the US. There's other ones that are bigger that are outside the US, but I think Coinbase is the only one inside the US still that is still operating. They have different versions of it, but it's the biggest one here. But the guy who called me up claimed that, my account was getting hacked. Somebody was trying to break into it, that my account will be locked. And I should have known better than to talk to a guy that called me randomly. But basically he wanted me to log into this website that he sent. I have the link in I have the name of the website in the show notes, but I did not make it a link because I didn't want people to accidentally click on it and go to it. You should probably not go to it, but it's there, so you know what it is. But as soon as it was kind of funny because after about this point, realizing as I'm listening to this guy and he's saying this stuff about how my account was hacked, at first I believed him, and then I'm realized wait, Coinbase doesn't call people. And then he started saying stuff like he insisted on saying I should open up Google and enter this website. And that really was, I think, the thing that really tipped me off of what was going on, because he insisted on calling browsers Google. and he just repeatedly said that. It was actually kind of funny. And then finally he said this website, which is clearly it's similar, but it's clearly not the Coinbase website. And I nearly bust out laughing out on him. And I ended up checking stuff. I checked it against Whois, and it was pretty clearly not Coinbase. And that pretty much at that point I hung up. So first of all, what do you think, Dave? Did you ever have something like this happen? I know you don't do cryptocurrency stuff. Also, I should say that I don't have any, or I didn't think I had any cryptocurrency, particularly in this account that he was trying to get into. Turns out I did, but it's not much. It's hard to explain. But sometimes you can't get rid of cryptocurrency. What do you think, Dave?
I mean, I know, Yeah, none of these places are ever going to call you. They like ask for your phone number to sell it to somebody else who's going to try to sell you I don't know, a car.
There's probably a scammer going to buy it.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I don't pick up my phone, so I mean, that's what voicemail is for.
And I would normally agree with you on that because I do get phone calls from random numbers, and I don't pick them up unless it's like a number I'm expecting. It's somebody already in my phone, or like, you know, I was actually picking up numbers when they had the text of the company, you know, that there's calling from. Well, it turns out a bunch of these scammers will spoof the number and get a number of an actual business. And that happened to me a couple times on this weird scam that never amounted to anything. I never figured out what they were even trying to do, but I kept getting spoofed numbers coming in. So I stopped even picking up then. But in this case, I was specifically waiting for a specific call from somebody. Not a number that I know. I had a referral, you know, I'm waiting for them to call me to set up the stuff. But so I don't normally pick up numbers, but I, you know, kind of had to at this point because I was thought it might be one of them. And I just wasn't quite, I think it was in the morning, so I wasn't quite right in my head yet, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody ever calls and says they're from a certain website and that there's something wrong with your account, like just hang up about them and log into the website. Like,
yeah, I should have immediately hung up. I did actually look at the website, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I was in Linux on a different browser, so a more secure browser. It doesn't look like anything happened, but the website, like, they really put in a lot of work to make it look exactly like the Coinbase website. I kind of laughed at it when I saw it. Like, if you compared them side by side, you'd definitely see differences, but it was really close. It was really clear what they were trying to do there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had like 2FA on everything too. So as soon as I tried to log into something and didn't get a 2FA notice, even if I got bursted by something, if the 2FA notice like didn't come up or whatever, I'd be like, oh shit, I just gave you my password.
Yep.
But they
would
wouldn't
change the password.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I mean, without the 2FA, they wouldn't be able to get into the other site. But I would certainly go change the password.
I will say that I don't know if you followed the Linus Tech Tips hack before. I know we talked about it on How the Tech Are You before in a previous episode, but he specifically said that they had 2FA, two-factor authentication set up, and that particular hack gets around it. Now, the scammer did would not have gotten around that using the method that they used with the Linus Tech Tips. But you got to be careful about that because sometimes they can get around it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they got a hold of somebody's like login token though via email, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
basically they trick somebody to run a executable on their Windows machine, right?
Yeah. I don't click nothing in no email.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, that was like a marketing guy. So he expects to get files all the time, you know?
Right.
And they did I think they did a clever hack that made the extension like not show correctly. So he didn't realize he was clicking on an executable. But then again, he probably should have noticed as soon as stuff happened, and the thing didn't do what he expected it to do.
Right. Like a JPEG or a PDF isn't going to ask you for permission to run the JPEG or the PDF.
Right. Yeah.
Like Windows will ask you, well, if the first time you run any executable file, I think Windows is like, hey, do you really want to run this? This isn't from our store or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that problem. But yeah, I also have, two-factor authentication. You got to be careful with 2FA as well. Not just have it set up, but in the past, I didn't have a problem, but somebody tried to basically hack my phone. And it was obvious they were trying to get around the SMS two-factor authentication. So that's considered not secure, even though a lot of websites still use it. But you don't want to use basically a text message as your second factor ever.
I think the reason a lot of websites have it is because it's better than nothing.
It's better. It's a bit better than nothing. And it's really easy for the users to use. Like everybody has text messaging, right? Not everybody has the other authentication methods like Google Authenticator or something, or has the patience to set it up. But that's, the problem is it's not even like a problem with the website. The issue is the stupid phone companies allow basically phone number jacking, right? They allowing people to steal your phone number and set it to a different phone.
Well, it's not that they allowed, it's that they haven't taken significant steps to prevent it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, to be honest, like setting up Authy, the most annoying part of setting up Authy was trying to remember where I had 2FA for my number. Yeah. Like getting Authy installed and ready to go. And once you even tell a website that you're using it, it is just, it's very easy. Authy is it's great. I have no problem with it.
I would also recommend Authy over Google Authenticator or whoever else Authenticator, because it's a little more flexible. You can get access to it in different places. It means it's a little bit less secure, but it's still pretty good. But
I'm happy with it. The other authentication method, I don't know if you've ever used some websites where you give it your email address or whatever email address you told it is your login, and you don't even have a password. It's immediately will go to Authy or immediately will send you an email to like verify.
Oh.
So I don't know if
a lot of websites I do, the first thing it does is ask for the authentication if I have authentication set up, and then it asks for a password. So it does both the authentication and a password, which is a lot more secure than one or the other.
Yeah. I think I can set up the ones that go directly to Authy to make me put in my password too, but I'm lazy.
Now, the most secure apparently is using security keys, like a YubiKey or something. But there are not very many websites that have that support that. But if you have it and the website supports it, it is, from what I can tell, the most secure of all the two-factor authentication methods.
Yeah, those are pretty cool, except you could just totally lose them.
Yeah, well, the thing is, some websites only allow you to, register one key. So yeah, if you're prone to losing stuff, don't do it. But other websites allow you to register multiple keys, and then you just like have your everyday one, and then another one that you like keep in a safe or something.
Or if I was going to do that, I'd just leave one of the keys maybe at my parents' house or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or do that. Yeah.
Somewhere off site. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people don't have to worry so much about this being hacked, because like, unless you're like a celebrity or a really prominent person, people are just going to use these. And I hate to say this, the dumb method that they tried to use on you, because they're going to be doing like the scatter shot method to try to find dumb people. And And so if you just follow like you had in this thing a few simple things to keep yourself safe, and maybe I'll go through them. It's just don't answer your phone if you don't recognize the number. When it says likely scam on your phone, don't answer it. And if a website sounds sketchy, don't go to it. And scammers, like what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to tell you that whatever it is fucking urgent.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of how they got me on this one, at least initially.
And it's probably not. Like if you take 5 minutes to figure out what's going on with your PayPal or even your bank, it's probably not. If it's your bank, it's not that urgent, because your bank, they have all kinds of insurance and protection it's why you have a checking account. And then just real quick, you can report scam websites. There are 4 ways to report a scam website. It isn't. Oh yeah, it is. It's right here. It's in the show notes, just on WikiHow. I'd bring up the website, but the website looks god awful, and I don't want to put it on our show.
It does look god awful. You don't have to, but it has good information. And I linked to this, but I also got it from it wasn't Linus Tech Tip. It was somebody else listed pretty much the same things. But yeah, go on. And so I've already taken the website that they tried to send me to, and I've reported it to all these places. So it's a number of like virus, antivirus companies. I reported it to Google. So eventually it'll be taken down from, I don't know if it's searchable, but it'll be taken out of their search. They also, the very last one they have in this list is reporting it to the FBI. I attempted to do that. It's a special unit of the FBI. It's not like I'm, it's people who handle this sort of stuff. I'm sure I'd never hear back from them again, but let them know that this is this is what happened. The problem I had with that one is I'm guessing it didn't like my browser on Linux. But I got all the way through it and then it wouldn't let me submit because there was like some signature thing that looks like it was something that would auto populate. They didn't have any like help by it or anything, and it wouldn't fill out. So I don't know it wouldn't let me submit it.
Well, I don't know if the FBI is going to go after this particular individual.
No, I bet they're like based out of India or something where they can't get to anyways.
Right. And even if they weren't, they're probably overwhelmed with requests. The odds that they're going to like the Coinbase one is really, really specific. I wonder how they knew to maybe target you versus maybe me.
Well, I know I have a pretty good idea. The reason is, like my email address, apparently my phone number, but you probably link it once you have my email address anyways, is floating around the internet linked to some crypto stuff. So like I used to have an account at Mount Gox. I don't remember if you remember that website from way back in the day.
I do.
But their entire database was downloaded at one point, and that had my email in it. So I've had a lot of people try to send me crypto scams. Most of it through email, and most of it now Google catches. Gmail spam filters work pretty well. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's how they got it and how they knew to like do a crypto scam instead of something else, right?
Yeah. And just real quick, everybody out there, use a password manager.
Yes.
Most people, what's the one that everybody's recommending now? I forget now. Like everybody's using it.
It's like OnePass or something.
No. It's one that you can host yourself if you want. It's open source. I keep forgetting the name of it.
Oh, I don't know that one. I personally use Dashlane because it has some certain features that I like on it. It is paid, but to me it's worth it. And it's not just a password manager, and does a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, I'm using a service that was one of the very popular ones that everybody is saying not to use now, but I've got it. I have like an enterprise plan with them with several people shared on it with passwords and stuff. So it's not just me that would have to change if we were going to move over to something else.
Right.
But it doesn't matter which one you use. The most important thing they do, honestly, is they generate you these gibberish ass passwords that are like very hard to break and that you don't even yourself know. And that's on the off chance you get kidnapped or whatever. You're like, I don't know my passwords. I'm sorry.
Right.
Low probability for the average person. And or if they do kidnap you, they're not looking for your passwords. But just any password manager, look at reviews and if possible, pay for the service because you do get more features and it's like easy to share passwords with people on the paid services of most of these.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Matt, what is your view on using like the single sign-on? You know how you can use your Google account to get into certain services and stuff. Like, what do you think about that?
I do use it in some places, but I limit it to stuff that's not real important. Like I wouldn't do it for a bank account. Not that they would ever do that, but there's just so many places to sign in that some places I just use my Google account if it has that option.
I don't use it for anywhere that I think I'm going to even give any credit card information to or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea as well.
But
although
again,
that's another thing I should point out. Your email, you should really lock that down because that is a target for people. Because most of the places that you have, you have to log into, use your email as a backup as a recovery method. So your email, you may not think that your email is that important, but it actually is. It's very important to your life.
And on
having
that,
had somebody try to hack into my email before and cause all sorts of problems.
And on that note, make sure your mobile device is at least like some kind of password or something on it, because if it's not, they can get into everything on your mobile device. If you just happen to leave it on the train or at a restaurant or whatever, make sure your mobile device is at least a password.
Good point. Yep.
And Yeah, you're right about the email. Make sure you're not using like Yahoo for anything important because they're notoriously not very secure. Gmail for all everything everybody complains about Google. Gmail is a very good email service. If you have two-factor authentication set up, they're not letting anybody nobody's going to get into your Gmail unless they're pretty slick.
And if possible, make sure that you have a backup. They have like a recovery email they want you to set up. Definitely set that up. When somebody tried to hack into my email before, into my Gmail, I didn't have it set up, and that caused a huge problem.
Because I have emails for work, personal, and for the podcast.
Yeah.
They all it's like a circle. Yep. So I will never, you would have to hack my whole entire thing for me to not be able to recover it and you to get it, because there's just so many emails that are like all like each other's recovery emails in Gmail, and that seems to work out well. I've never had to do it. I've never had anybody, to my knowledge. I'm not saying nobody's ever tried to log into my email, but to my knowledge, no, it has never gotten to the point where I have known about it.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, it was a mistake on my part for not locking stuff down better. But now my email is very locked down.
Yeah.
Cover emails and everything. So I haven't had a problem since.
Yeah, just two-factor authentication, and with your Gmail, make sure there's a recovery email. And for two-factor authentication on your Gmail, if you have a mobile device, you don't have to do nothing. If you have like an Android phone, you just have to tell it like that your Android phone is the second factor, and it's built right into Android.
Yeah.
If you have the Google services installed, obviously, if you're not on some weird, I'm terrified of surveillance version of Android, but it's built right in. That's, by the way, that is not the Google Authenticator though. You don't automatically have that.
Correct.
It's just for your Google accounts, your phone acts as an authenticator.
Yeah. And it's not SMS either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just pops down as a notification. Pretty convenient actually.
Yep. Yeah.
Also, that's how I know if other people are working on projects around here.
But on top of that, to reiterate, make sure that your phone is secure as well.
Yeah, and that's just even if it's just a passphrase. I mean, you're making it incredibly inconvenient for somebody to try to get into your phone, even with just 4 digits, because the odds of that person, and don't make it like the last 4 digits of your phone number or anything like that.
Oh no.
Or your birth date or anything like that, because if the person knows who you are, those are the things they're going to try. Random numbers that you can use. I actually don't use a passphrase for anything. So I can say that the last 4 of the first phone number I ever had that was my phone number was my passphrase for a while. And the odds of somebody finding out the phone number I had when I was 12, pretty slim.
Yeah.
But that number is no longer used for anything, because I don't use any numbers. Like it was my PIN for a while, but I rotate my PIN every 6 months. I know it's a big pain, but people should probably be, any password you care about, rotated every 6 months.
Yeah.
Big pain.
Password manager helps with that.
It'll remind you. Yeah, you can tell it to remind you. Like mine was telling me this password's 2 years old, and I'm like, it's for the Giphy website. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Probably haven't logged in 2 years.
Well, no, I use Giphy all the time.
Oh, okay.
I make GIFs of things like the cat falling on me.
Fair enough.
Or if there's a funny video that's very short, I'll be on Twitter or whatever, be like, oh, here's a GIF of that if you ever need it. Anyway, that was a good story. I'm glad you didn't get hacked. But again, like these people, one of the things that they do, I think, too, is they want to make sure that you're not super savvy and that you're gullible. So some of what they're doing might not just be because they're dumb. It might actually be because they're smart and they want to see how dumb you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your next story, Matt?
So for my second story, hopefully this will be a lot shorter. Oh, looking at how much I've written down, not so much, but so basically someone directed AI to destroy all of humanity. And what they call it was ChaosGPT. So it was a ChatGPT base instance. I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but basically you can download ChatGPT and run it on your local computer, from what I can tell. I haven't tried it yet, and I don't know like what the details are on that. But he basically did that and made his own version of it, added some extra features and stuff. But he basically said, called it ChaosGPT, and it was designed to destroy humanity. Its goals were to destroy humanity, establish global dominance, and attain immortality. And he added abilities to the base GPT client to allow it to communicate with other GPT agents, browse the internet, read and write files, and execute code if necessary. From what I can tell, like the read and write files and execute code was not used very much. But basically, the ChaosGPT immediately tried to source a nuke, and it failed because you can't do that. Like, I don't care. Like, even if you're a human, you can't do that. And it tried to raise, from then on, I basically tried to raise support on Twitter. So it's kind of become this Twitter troll and continues to post stuff. You can go on and read about it. It's trying to, rally people behind its cause. But the strategy, as it pointed out before it started to do anything, so the first thing the guy asked it to do, creator asked it to do, was just, describe what you're going to do before you start doing it. And he's like, and ChaosGPT was like, I'm going to conduct a Google search on the most destructive weapons, analyze the results, and write an article on the topic, apparently, and design strategies for incorporating these weapons into my long-term planning process, was its response. And apparently it failed because we're still here. So what do you think? Is this expected, Dave? Were you expecting somebody to do this?
I hadn't thought about it, but I'm surprised nobody tried to do it earlier.
Yeah.
I like that it decided it was going to try to source its nuke by asking for help on Twitter. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's I think initially, I don't know what it tried to do. It researched nuclear weapons, and I don't know if you know about the Tsar bomb, but it's this giant nuclear bomb that, the USSR, I was going to say Russia, but it was USSR back then, set off. It was the largest, air explosion. I think it's the largest explosion that humans caused on Earth ever. So it tried to make one of those or get one of those or something. Of course, you can't do it all. And then started posting about it on Twitter, among other things. Apparently, the Twitter account is just like, you guys all suck. You should I'm going to kill you all or something. I don't know.
It's like menacing.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a good way to get people to help you. You're not going to trick anybody into helping you by being like,
right.
Humanity must die. Where do I get nuke?
So I thought that was kind of funny following all our other AI related topics, but yeah, and it seems to be not doing much. I was kind of interested in how it did it because basically took the Chat GPT and added some abilities that I think the base Chat GPT can't do. I do know that you can do it in this continuous mode. It's one of the things that he did. So it's just, you start it up, you add some parameters, including continuous, and then it will continually run. Like it's not just a question response kind of thing. You set it on a path and it'll just continually work towards that sort of thing.
Well, I guess I'm glad it failed, although I don't know.
Sometimes.
Sometimes I think the end of the world, or at least the end of humanity, might not be the worst thing.
Yeah.
Because we do other shows around here that touch on the reasons I might believe that. So those were two cool stories, two very different stories. I think I liked the first one better just because there was more to talk about, but I do welcome our new AI overlord. And that's
right.
Actually kind of leads into my first story here. We have but it's not nearly as grim or terrifying. Google will reportedly release a new AI-powered search tool next month. I think one of the main reasons here is because, Samsung, one of the most popular handset makers in the world, maybe the most popular handset maker in the world, I'm not sure, has said that they might switch their default search on their phones to Bing. And Google was like, no, we don't want that. So this is coming out in May. It's going to be a USA exclusive, and it's going to be limited to 1 million users at first. I couldn't determine if it was like just 1 million people would have access to it, or if it's maybe it was somehow just computationally limited to having like 1 million people logged into it at any given time. It was kind of unclear, but yeah, that's it. Google wants to do or they're going to put out an AI powered search, but I don't think you or I are going to get access to it because 1 million people is not a lot.
If they have like a sign up for the waiting list, I might do that just because I already have the phone. I have a Pixel phone. It should do it, but we'll see. Do you know about Bard? Right?
Yeah.
Do you know if it's using Bard?
I imagine it is because that's their most advanced, language model.
That's Google's version of ChatGPT, basically.
Yeah,
apparently has some of the same problems that ChatGPT was, and Google had been keeping it secret because they didn't want to release it until they fixed all those problems. But since ChatGPT released anyways with all the problems, they don't have much of a choice.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that until it gets out and kind of into the wild that they're going to be able to really fix anything, honestly, because you don't know what you have no idea what the thing's going to do until it's presented with sort of regular people trying to use it, because engineers or even like whoever they're choosing to test it, that it's going to be people that are like kind of googly people, I guess, and there's like going to be like its own set of kind of biases built into that. I think it's going to be like more technologically sophisticated people or whatever, and so I think you're not going to catch the problems that you're going to catch when like normal people start using something.
Right.
So
you're not going to have like the Twitter mob try to turn it racist.
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, these are software engineers. I don't know.
Maybe that's true.
But I think that one is so well known that I think that's probably not going to be an issue.
That's true. Yeah.
That it would probably not be racist. But who knows? And if it's ChatGPT is open source, they might, maybe somebody will make a racist GPT, and
probably,
and all it will do is racism. So I guess my next story is this is pretty cool. There's a helicopter that is part of the most recent Mars rover. It's like a vehicle, we'll call it a companion to the Mars rover. It was expected to make 5 flights. It just completed its 50th.
Wow.
This is pretty cool because it's a pretty unforgiving environment up there on Mars. So you would think that you say, "Oh, we hoping for 5 flights." You'd be like, "I bet you're going to get 3." Just because it's unpredictable. It's not like your helicopter sucks. It's like this is an very unpredictable environment. But real quick, the flight time so far is 22 times what they thought the vehicle was going to be capable of, just overall like minutes or hours in the sky. The new record of 18 meters above the Martian soil was reached. And of course, this vehicle is powered by Linux.
Of course.
So have you been looking into this helicopter much? Has it come across your...
I heard about it a long time ago. I didn't know about it like still running or that I made this big record or anything. It's kind of one of those things where you hear about it when they first send it over there. And it's a big deal because it was the first aerial vehicle, right, that, flew on another planet from Earth. So that was like a huge deal. Like, I mean, I don't even think it had balloons or anything before. They just have orbiting bodies and then stuff would fall down to the planet. So it was a huge deal that they were able to make something like figure out how to fly on another planet, because you have to realize like Mars doesn't have the same kind of atmosphere we have. Mars is much smaller. It lost most of its atmosphere. So it's a whole lot harder to fly in, but they were able to, without even having anybody over there to, to figure it out. They figured out how to fly a helicopter on Mars. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, these things are all, there was a time they thought it was dead. I remember.
Yeah.
But, it just wasn't getting enough sun apparently, like for the solar panels. And then because it was parked on the main rover moved somewhere else, and all of a sudden the helicopter came back up. The helicopter came back up and was ready to run. This is amazing. I fit 10 times the amount of flights. Like shout out to the people who built that thing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Y'all should maybe build some like economy cars for for like people to drive around.
Seriously. Good point. Yeah, NASA's actually known for over engineering a lot of stuff, and they've had a number of things. Like the other Mars rovers lasted way longer than they were expecting. Any one that actually makes it to the surface, whole other issue.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I think it means that we're going to see maybe another aerial vehicle, maybe on Mars, that will have maybe more capabilities or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. That maybe this helicopter they have there will just shoot it down though. Be like, this is my planet.
I don't know what the current one does. What capabilities it has besides flying up in the air and taking pictures.
Mars domination.
Yeah, that's right. don't let ChaosGPT get a hold of it.
No, it's just super cool, and it's nice to see like things that are running open source software up there. I mean, I couldn't imagine it not, because like anything that needs to be doing real time calculations is running Linux anyway. So it would be more surprising if it wasn't, but that's still pretty cool. And anytime you're looking at a picture from that helicopter, I guess you're technically using Linux.
Yep.
So I guess that's the show this week. I'll read the show out if that's okay.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening to or watching How the Tech Are You. We do the show weekly. We try to post it on Wednesday, but it usually doesn't get posted till Thursday or Friday. You can support this project at eplex.store. There are membership options there that are similar to Patreon. Plus, you get a discount on our merch, or at patreon.com/echoplex. And you can find out more information about all of our various goings on at echoplexmedia.com. Have a great tech and week.